Watch this.
A new agreement between Idaho and the federal government focuses on deporting undocumented criminals. Civil liberties advocates have concerns about the Idaho partnership. We'll hear them out. Beyond the 208 to Colorado, a Jewish festival in Boulder is still scheduled to happen this weekend despite an attack on the Jewish community back on Sunday. We'll hear why canceling it was never on the table. 40 years of the Goonies. Visitors from around the world are gathering in the state of Oregon to visit iconic movie locations and meet other fans to celebrate this cult classic. Idaho State Police and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. They are set to work together in a new partnership. Governor Brad Little announced that ISP will soon transport who they call dangerous undocumented people from Idaho prisons and jails to ICE detention facilities. The agreement will focus on undocumented people convicted of a crime who have served their sentence in a county jail. And this addresses cases, common in recent years, of undocumented people finishing sentences and then heading back into Idaho communities because there are not enough resources to process them through ICE for actions like deportation. It's unclear for now specifically what crimes will take priority for this program, but under the agreement with ICE through the federal 287G program, it'll cost Idaho taxpayers $300,000 to pay for ISP troopers to complete these transports. Each case costs about $3,000, so there's budget for about 100 cases for the next 12 months. And the partnership will go into effect when the State Board of Examiners authorizes the money, and the governor's office expects that to happen in the next few weeks. New today, we are hearing from groups like the ACLU that have concerns about the nature of this partnership.
These types of actions and partnerships really are part of a larger scheme, right, that ultimately threaten all communities for that matter. These programs have a history of civil liberties, civil rights violations that really every Idahoan should be concerned, and that, it's important for us to actually move forward in a direction where we create a program where we restore the rule of law, honor the dignity and contributions of immigrants, and create a future program that strengthens our economy.
Right now, the only ICE detention center is in Jefferson County over in Rigby, Idaho. More county jails, though, are likely to come online soon as ICE facilities. Let's go beyond the 208. Law enforcement have been searching for 5 days now for the Washington father suspected of killing his 3 daughters. Still no sign of Travis Decker, days after the girls were discovered dead at a campsite in Leavenworth, Washington. Investigators seem to have narrowed their focus to areas near a popular hiking trail. Here's Drew Andre for our sister station in Seattle.
Investigators say they believe he could be near the Pacific Crest Trail. The popular Enchantments Trail region will be closed until June 18th. And today, police are sending out warnings in a number of remote areas, enclosing campgrounds and trails. Residents in remote areas were asked to be on the lookout, keep doors and windows securely locked. Remember, Travis Decker is a former Army Ranger and is considered a skilled outdoorsman. Law enforcement say call 911 if you see him and assume he could be armed and dangerous. This morning, we're also learning more about the 3 girls. This home video shows Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia doing the limbo. Their friends say it really shows off their personality. Yesterday, a couple of friends of the family shared a statement thanking everyone who has supported the family.
Seeing everyone come together and unite in support of this family has been humbling and reminds us of what makes the Wenatchee Valley so special. That compassion has been a source of light in this dark hour.
The GoFundMe to support the children's mother has now raised over $1 million and growing by the minute. Friends say those generous contributions will afford Mom Whitney time away from her job and cover the costs of her final goodbyes. Now, looking through the donations, you can see thousands of dollars from anonymous donors and a lot of people from out of state too. More than 20,000 individual donations have been made. In studio, I'm Drew Andre, King 5 News.
In addition to the Enchantment, several other trails in the North Cascades are also closed right now. In case you're traveling this weekend, that includes part of the Pacific Crest Trail, Rainbow Lake Trail. It's Twist Pass Trail, Upper Stetkin Valley Trail, and Thunder Creek Trail, among several others. Investigators have also issued a warning to those who live in cabins in that area, asking people to lock their doors, leave window blinds open, and turn on outdoor lights. If you see Decker, do not approach him. You are asked to call 911. Sticking in Washington state, the FBI says that agents foiled a, quote, imminent planned mass shooting attack at a mall in Kelso. Investigators described the suspect as a teenager, but didn't disclose an exact age. John Adams with our sister station in Portland tells us the story.
At a Thursday afternoon press conference at Portland's FBI field office, agents announced the arrest of a Columbia County teen they believe was set to carry out an attack at the Three Rivers Mall in Kelso. Agents say detailed plans of the attack were posted in an online chat group on May 17th.
A plan to use an improvised explosive device known as a chlorine bomb to cause panic and then shoot mall patrons.
The plan also included shooting people coming out of the Regal movie theaters. The Portland FBI received a tip about the plan on May 19th and was able to identify the teen the next day. They were arrested at their home on May 22nd as law enforcement conducted a search warrant.
There were 3 firearms seized, multiple boxes of various types of ammunition, 4 knives.
Agents also seized clothing detailed in the plans to be used in the attack, plus 5 digital devices.
This case had every indication that it was imminent, and we believe the FBI, along with our partners, prevented a tragic event in our community.
As of now, officials don't believe the plan was racially or religiously motivated, but say the teen pledged their support to numerous online extremist groups. The Columbia County DA wouldn't rule out that others may be charged in the investigation.
Additional information may come and develop as it does, and steps will be taken based on that information.
Now to the state of Colorado, where a Jewish festival in Boulder is still scheduled to happen this weekend, despite an attack last Sunday on the Pearl Street Mall in downtown Boise. And those involved with the event say that canceling it was never on the table, but they are preparing additional security measures to keep people safe. Evan Krugel with our sister station in Colorado reports.
At Jewish Colorado in Denver, this building would normally be empty today, allowing people to gather with family to celebrate the Jewish holiday of Shavuot. Instead,
we're here.
Willie Recht and a handful of people are working through the holiday.
The offices are closed, the community shut down, but when there's a tragedy like this and action needs to be taken, we have to jump in.
Willie says Sunday's attack on Pearl Street in Boulder left everyone in disbelief.
They lit Jews on fire in 2025. I mean, it's hard for anyone to wrap their head around that.
His team quickly got to work, launching a fundraising campaign to raise money for victim support and additional safety and security at events like the Boulder Jewish Festival this weekend on the Pearl Street Mall.
Increased off-duty police, private security. We're confident those needs will be met and be met quickly.
Event organizers say they're taking steps to reimagine the event in a way that helps our community heal. For now, it's set to take place on the same block where the attack happened Sunday.
I think it sends a message. I mean, what's the alternative, that we don't show up?
Willie says more than 300 people have already donated, and he's confident they'll get the money they need to help victims heal and ensure a safe event on Sunday.
Yeah, I think everybody has every right to be scared. I'm scared. But I also think that the only thing we can do is continue to show up.
North Idaho family is scrambling to figure out what to do after a judge revoked a permit for a new mountain bike park. The family was less than 2 weeks out from opening up their park to bikers. The judge's decision comes after Bonner County already approved that permit. Connor McAvoy with our sister station up north talked to the family about their frustrations and how neighbors feel about the park.
As she drives up the bumpy road to her more than 100-acre property, Jennifer Kalbach reflects on years of her and her family's work to create the Panhandle Bike Ranch, a space for them and other mountain bikers to enjoy. She says the interest is a shared one in the Sagal community.
People love to recreate, and whether that's mountain biking, spending time on the lake, there's a lot of that going on around here.
But mountain biking here can only be enjoyed by her family and 15-person staff for now. This after a Bonner County judge revoked the permit on Tuesday after the Kalbach family went through the effort of applying and qualifying for a conditional use permit, or CUP, through Bonner County. That permit, by definition, allows a property owner to use their land in ways that normally wouldn't be allowed by local zoning ordinances. Kalbach says that would have meant opening the bike park up to the public as a business, allowing people to ride it in the warmer months. The Kalbachs attended 2 hearings on the issue with neighbors in the area who opposed the park.
We went to court and they presented their case that we were a resort and not a recreation facility, which is you're not allowed to have a resort in this area, but you are permitted to have a recreation facility. Our family and all of our crew have put a lot of work into this. So yeah, everybody is devastated.
It's an issue that's got her neighbor Mary Miller's blood boiling.
Yeah, it's basically a resort.
She argues the bike park's construction alone's already caused issues.
That shouldn't be being built in a residential area where all the other families have to sit and listen.
Despite the pushback, the Kalbachs are continuing to effort opening the bike park, but their next hearing date isn't until the end of the summer. She says that's riding time being taken away.
We're only open May through October 15th. If we can get those dates are like based on the weather.
She hopes it's just another rough road to overcome, hoping to share her property with the Sagal community.
I guess we'll just have to see when we go back and see what the county decides, if they stay with their decision, their original decision, or if they change their minds.
The bike park becoming a reality is still going to be fought in Bonner County Court. A next hearing on the matter is scheduled for August 25th. In Sagal, Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Eastern Idaho mom Lori Vallow Daybell had to be removed from court in Arizona today during her 3rd trial. Plus, the town just a couple hours away is experiencing several tremors, and maybe you're looking for something to do this weekend. We have all of that and more in today's 411 on the 208.
Things got so heated in an Arizona courtroom today that a judge had a deputy remove Lori Vallow Daybell, the so-called doomsday mom, during proceedings.
We're going to have a short hearing on what evidence that they can bring in to rebut that character, which could include being convicted of 4 murders. So
and would you
talk to your advisory counsel during the break? And
you don't need to yell at me either.
Okay?
Yeah, you are, and you do not need to talk to me that way. I'm very courteous. I'm very courteous to you.
No, you have been nothing near courteous to me during the course of these proceedings.
The judge warned Vallow Daybell that he could revoke her right to represent herself if the outbursts continue. She later apologized to the court. This marks Vallow Daybell's 3rd trial in as many years. She's facing a murder conspiracy charge for allegedly plotting to kill her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Boudreau. Investigators say Vallow Daybell's brother shot at Boudreau outside his Gilbert home in October 2019. The bullet missed Boudreau but shattered his car window. Dozens of small earthquakes are hitting the Idaho Central Mountains. Residents of Stanley and the surrounding area are being impacted by a swarm of small quakes, but scientists are saying this isn't actually that rare. In the past 2 weeks, the Stanley area has seen more than 100 earthquakes, some happening as recently as this afternoon. One happened just after 2 p.m. today and was above magnitude 4. 27 of the earthquakes in the recent weeks have been above magnitude 3, and now 3 have reached magnitude 4. The quakes are expected to continue to occur intermittently. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, the Idaho Military Museum is bringing a piece of history to the Treasure Valley. Tomorrow and Sunday, you can check out the Gowan Field Military History Days. The event will highlight Idaho's role in conflicts from past to present. There will be military exhibits and activities for kids. Both tomorrow and Sunday's events will go from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's the 411 on the 208. I'm Jude Binkley.
Absolutely beautiful weather here in the region. Boise sitting at 82. 79 in Twin Falls. We have some cloudy skies overhead. They're not going to last too long. Down in Sun Valley and McCall, slightly cooler with lows in the 70s. And here's a look at what is on the way today through tomorrow. So those cloudy skies are going to stick around through this evening, keeping us a little bit cooler, which is great, especially if you're going to be out and about tonight in the Boise area. We do have winds in the mix up to 15 miles an hour right now. We expect them to die down around 10 o'clock. Tomorrow is going to be hot and breezy for your Saturday afternoon. Here's a look at our 24-hour temperature change map. So at this time yesterday, we're about 1 degree hotter than we were, about 4 degrees hotter than we were yesterday in Mountain Home at this time, and we are only slightly warming in the mountains, although Stanley did see a 6-degree jump in temperature change in the last 24 hours. Here's a look at your evening in Boise. Again, if you have plans tonight, this is a beautiful night to go out. We are parked in the low 80s from 6 through 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be in the upper 70s by 9, and as we near our way closer to midnight, we're dipping down to a beautiful and comfy 68 degrees. Now, we've been anticipating this warm up for several days now because of this high pressure center we have parked here off the west coast. It's also being very gracious as it starts to heat things up. We're still going to have some winds in the mix. Here's a look at our high temperatures tomorrow throughout the region. Sunshine everywhere, absolutely beautiful. In the mountains, they're finally starting to warm up with a high of 82 in Stanley and Sun Valley. Down in the very low Treasure Valley, Magic Valley, excuse me, we have a high of 88 in Twin Falls, so not quite as hot as we're expected to get in the Boise area, where we're reaching about 91 tomorrow in the early part of the afternoon, 93 for the high in Ontario. And here's the good news. Yes, we've got some winds in the mix just as we start to heat up here in the Boise area. We really get those winds to kind of give us a little bit of a break. So if you take a look at our wind gusts tomorrow, by noon we'll be sitting at 15-mile-an-hour winds, a very welcome element into the mix as we near our way to the 90s, close to 2 o'clock. Now we're going to hang out there for quite some time. I'll step off the screen here. Between 4 and 8 p.m. we'll be hanging out at 18-mile-an-hour winds, which again, I absolutely welcome when you've got heat as high as what you see right now here in our 7-day forecast. So you don't see a cloud in the sky in our forecast until we hit Tuesday, but before then it's all sunshine across the board. So tomorrow we're waking up to a low of 58 with a high of 91. Again, as we get hotter, we still have a lovely breeze coming through the area. Sunday we'll wake up to a low of 62, topping off at a high of 95, hanging out in the upper 90s Monday as well as we reach 96 for the high. Tuesday we get a little bit of a break with a partly cloudy sky, waking up to a low of 64, a high of 94, and by the time we hit Wednesday, we slowly start to dial back and our high reaches an 89.
if you're a die-hard follower of the Goonies, we got a special weekend for you. Did you know it's been 40 years since the fan favorite movie premiered, and Astoria, Oregon has some fun celebrations planned just to mark that anniversary. Fans from all over, by the way, the world, heading to Astoria to remember the classic movie. Devon Haskins with our sister station in Oregon takes us right outside the iconic Goonies house.
Since 1985, a movie about a group of kids known as the Goonies that go on a search for a legendary pirate's treasure has captured the hearts of fans everywhere.
We traveled from Vermont to be here today and this weekend.
And to mark 40 years, Astoria is celebrating big.
40 years. Absolutely, 40 years since it came out. I was a tiny kid. I watched it all the way through high school, middle school.
Fans from all over coming to see a piece of Hollywood in person.
And when we saw it was the 40th, we were like, this is a great excuse to come here to see the house.
The Goonies house is a must-see.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we knew that the 40th anniversary was going to be huge.
Bayman Zachary bought the iconic Goonies house in 2022 and has been on a quest to restore it ever since.
Goonies was such a big movie for our generation that we wanted to continue to embrace it and kind of keep the magic alive.
Once off limit to fans, it's now a treasure to find on any Goonie map.
Seeing them with our own eyes is incredible, really great.
And if you're lucky, you might even see the Rube Goldberg machine in action.
If you do the truffle shuffle, you know, and we run the Rube Goldberg, maybe somebody gets lucky enough to get past the fence, but not everybody.
So yeah, these are the working jail cells.
The house is just one of the many stops for film buffs to see during the city's 4-day celebration. The Old County Jail is where Jake Fratelli made his slippery escape.
This was actually the breakout scene from the very beginning. The bad guys, the Fratellis, bust out. But this was our working jail from 1914 through 1976.
So whether you've got a Goonies heart or just want to relive some 80s cinemagic, head on down to the Goondocks. And just remember,
Goonies never say die!
Well, here we are at the end of another great week on the 208. And as we head into the exciting summer months, the 208 team has a special message for you. We want to tell the best and most exciting and interesting stories to find out here across the great state of Idaho. This show, the 208, we depend on the great relationship with our viewers, and we're asking you, the viewers, is there anything you would like to see on the 208 in terms of explorations, old historical stories, maybe investigations? As we head into our summer months, our team has a real itch to get out into the community and head to new places. So, as always, if you have anything to tell the 208 team, you can send us a message, 208-321-5614. Hope to hear from you soon. For this week, though, that's all, folks.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.